The other day you were asking me, Michelle, if there were things that I wish I had known when I was a younger person myself. And as I have thought about that, I have come up with a couple of things. And the first I would say is that I wish I had known to not seek value or worth in external things or other people or things outside of myself. I think that has been a huge learning throughout life. And it really is one of those things I wish I had known and felt and realized as a young person.
Yes, and I think that is so tempting to do, especially when you're younger, because there's a lot of searching for identity. And as you're becoming your own person, you're trying to figure out what matters to you. And it is tempting sometimes to try to find that worth in external factors, whether that's people or some kind of metric or your job performance or things that are kind of outside your realm of control a lot of times. And so I appreciate you bringing that up. And I think we instead can try to lean into our values, things that matter to us, things that are going to be more steady over time and won't fluctuate and be so chaotic.
That's so true. And I think you're right. It's so easy, especially as a young person, to say, my worth, my value lies in my job, or I'm finding worth in a partner, or this is something external that I am finding. I feel valuable because of this external thing. And that's so hard because, the external thing can go away. And so if we are finding our worth in something that is outside of us, then there goes our worth if something happens to that external thing. And as life goes on, a lot of things will happen. So I think, yes, that is something, if I had learned that earlier on, it would have been wonderful.
Mom, something I've heard you bring up again and again is that who you spend time with is a quality of life issue. And I was hoping you could say more about what that means.
Yes, that would be something also I wished I had known and learned earlier. It really is true that who you are spending time with is, in fact, a quality of life issue. And in this, I'm not talking about monetary quality of life or anything, to do financially. I'm talking about the goodness of life. And so if you are spending time with, in a romantic sense or with friends or in larger groups, if you are spending time with people of good heart, in people who care about each other and care about the world, this is something that just enriches life and makes your life better to spend time with people who are caring, good, kind-hearted people. And so it does tend to impact if you spend a lot of time with people whose values are, or they're just seeking money or all about seeking things that are not really the value system that is true to you, then what you're going to have is a quality of life that feels quite superficial. And there may not be a lot of quality to the life. And so I have learned, and this is something I wish I had known earlier, is that spend time with people of good heart, that it does impact the type of life that you are living and the way your life will go and how you will be filled up with good things.
That makes a lot of sense because you do hear that phrase, you are who you hang out with. And I think if you're surrounding yourself with people that make you feel like a better version of yourself, that kind of time adds up. A big proportion of our life is interacting with other people. And so you want to make sure that those people are ones who truly fill up your cup rather than drain it.
And a third thing that I wish I had known and learned about and lived into earlier is that spending time with questions really is more valuable than trying to be about exact answers. And I think about this in terms of, as a young person, it's almost like you can spend a lot of time searching for certainty. What is the exact right path for me? What is this exact right thing to think? And so I wish I had spent more time just sitting with the questions and valuing, the exploration of that you don't have to know the exact correct answer in a given life circumstance, that sometimes there's real joy in navigating and exploring, and somehow by allowing ourselves to sit with the questions, it allows for more joy in the moment, rather than I just remember as a young person spending a lot of time trying to figure out what next, and what is the next career thing to do, what is the next school thing to do, what is next, the exact next thing on this journey. And so oftentimes there is no correct or exact answer. It's just different paths to go that take us in all kind of ways.
Yeah, and I think it makes a lot of sense that us humans, we do long for certainty sometimes because it is uncomfortable to be in the not knowing. And I think especially when you're younger, that does feel a little bit nebulous to be in that unknowing. But I like what you're saying, that certainty just doesn't really exist. So to kind of lean into that discomfort and know that you're going to be okay, and that things will continue to unfold, that is something that I'm trying to remind myself of right now. So I like that one a lot. So another thing that feels important that you've told me before, especially when I'm in situations that I'm not quite sure about, you say to listen to your body, because a lot of times your body knows if something is right for you or not. And oftentimes you feel it in your body even before you know it in your mind. So would you say that that's another thing that you wish you had known as when you were younger?
Gosh, it sure is. And I think that's why I tell you that so much, because I wish I had known that earlier myself. This idea of really listen to your body. I think it's so true that our bodies often do know what is right or what is not right for us before our minds can even form it into words. And so I think
Yeah.
as a young person, if I had known more and trusted that more, it would have served me so well, because I think, and especially for females, there can be a lot of trying to justify, well, this is, this will work for me because, or this won't work for me. And so I think, and sometimes trying to convince myself of something that I knew
Yeah.
did not feel right within my body, but I just could not find the right words to say. So I think that feels so true for young people to do. Pay attention to what is going on for you within your body, because I think it gives direction a lot of times.
Yes, I think I definitely feel that sometimes, where like the need to try to rationalize it either to myself or to someone else. Like I owe somebody else an explanation for just making a choice based on how it feels in my core and my body. But what you're saying is no, it's enough to feel it. And that is a reason enough to make a decision one way or the other. And that's really, really powerful.
And that leads me to think of one more thing that I wish I had known when I was younger, is that it is okay, wonderful even, to change your mind. We evolve as humans, and we evolve throughout life. And it's so important to know that just because we've made some decision that felt right at the time when we were this young age, that, years later, that may not feel right anymore, and there may need to be some different path chosen. I think there was I felt some pressure to say, okay, well, here's the choice you've made and the path you're on. Here's the schooling that's going to happen for this path, and here's what there was a lot of like, okay, once you've made the choice, it's forevermore. As you kind of, like we were saying earlier, as you are listening to your body, what may have felt right at one point may no longer feel right. But yeah, it would have been great to know years and years ago.
It's really a relief to hear that because I think there is a lot of pressure. Honestly, society and our culture and people often kind of put on you that, oh, what are you going to be when you grow up? What's your thing? And there's a lot of pressure to know this decision is going to impact me for the rest of my life. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it can feel so overwhelming, but it's kind of a relief to know, Mom, that it's okay to change our minds. Know that what feels right will change over time, and that feels a bit freeing.
There's so many ways that people get boxed in fairly early. People even ask like young children, what are you going to be when there's just a lot of trying to box young people in very early in life. And so I think there is some freedom to know that you will grow, you will evolve, and you will change your mind and to feel empowered to do so.
And it's interesting because even though you wish your younger self had known, a lot of these things that you told me you can't fully know until you go through yourself and experience and come out on the other end. So I appreciate you
That's
being
right.
willing to share with us, but at the same time know that we are going to make mistakes and we're going to continue evolving. Yes, thank you so much, Mom. So, watchers, I'm wondering if any of these things resonated for you, or if there's something in particular that you've learned over the years and maybe that your younger self did not know. Please share in the comments. We would love to hear from you. My name is Michelle. That is my mom, Ashley. We are a connection from here. Please like and subscribe, and we will connect again soon.